Tonight we're taking on Barack Obama's impossible challenge to find some evidence of socialism in his policies. Apart from his childhood, teenage years, and adult childhood spent with radicals, Marxist and communist, and then attending a Marxist church for 20 years with a Marxist pastor, what has he done lately? Well, there is the tiny matter of him taking over the auto industry. No big deal. GM has just been taken over, 61%. And then, of course, the nagging little detail of that the government now controls much of America's banking industry. We have that. And then, of course, there's AIG Insurance, the insurance giant that we also took those over. Those are fantastic. And, yes, he has taken the first step towards socialization, total government control of our health care system. I had an appointment with my doctor today, and he was thrilled about that. And, you know, controlling the entire healthcare industry. It's only 1/6. Don't worry about that. Oh, he's also seized control of the entire student loan industry. Just wipe that industry out. Far from celebrating capitalists and capitalism, he has repeatedly demonized the wealthy, dating back to his early days of his campaign. Here's how Obama responded when he was asked about raising the capital gains tax at the expense of the economy. Watch.
What I've said is that I would look at raising the capital gains tax for purposes of fairness. We saw an article today which showed that the top 50 hedge fund managers made $29 billion last year. $29 billion for 50 individuals. And part of what has happened is that those who are able to work the stock market and amass huge fortunes on capital gains are paying a lower tax rate than their secretaries. That's not fair.
Okay. I just want you to understand, this is a question about, wait a minute, if you take and you raise capital gains tax, what that's going to do is that's going to hurt the economy. It's shown it over and over and over again. That was the question. For 50 people, he will punish the entire economy. Now, one of those evil hedge fund managers, huge progressive and fundraiser and Obama supporter, this guy, George Soros. His fund made $3.3 billion last year. You know, as you're struggling, $3.3 billion. Now, if it's true that a billionaire pays lower percentage than his 50 grand a year secretary on his income, I demand to know his accountant's phone number. No, please. But to the larger point here, how is it fair to knowingly reduce the nation's revenues? Hurt everybody and hurt the revenues into the IRS. Doesn't that hurt the country as a whole? I mean, again, the ideology of an ardent free market believer, but more importantly, this is why it matters. Socialist or not, theories of Marx do not work. They do not build countries. They do not create jobs. They destroy. They destroy wealth. They destroy countries. And in most cases, in the end, they wind up killing thousands, if not millions of people because, what was it our car czar said, or our manufacturing czar? He kind of agrees with Mao that power comes from the end of a gun. This is why it matters. I don't care if it's a Republican or a Democrat or George Bush started it or Jimmy Carter started it. It doesn't matter. What matters is the madness ends before our country ends. Now that we've discussed his radical Marxist communist parents, his communist mentor, where's his communist mentor? His Marxist professors, his Marxist pastor, along with the takeover of the auto industry, the banking industry, the healthcare system, insurance, student loans. Now we've, no doubt, come to the end of the case for why Barack Obama might be considered a socialist. Right? No. We've introduced you on this program to his new spiritual advisor. You got to love this guy. New spiritual advisor is Jim Wallis. Jim Wallis, who, like his last spiritual advisor, Jeremiah Wright, is a Marxist. Now, he's not going to call himself a Marxist anymore. No. He's very, very clever. He's advising the President of the United States, but listen to his words.
Are you then calling for the redistribution of wealth in society?
Absolutely, without any hesitation. That's what the gospel is all about.
He goes on to talk about the forced redistribution of wealth, because when you just give, it's just not enough. The left will continue to claim that all I'm doing is spewing hateful rhetoric. I don't care. I really don't. I don't know anything about this man other than his words and his actions, what he actually believes. He might be a very nice man. I don't know. All I'm trying to do is show you these people in their own words, not my words, in their own words. And then you decide, does it matter? Back in a minute.